Hey there, fellow thinkers. Welcome back to Eclipse of Ideas, the place where we question everything and challenge the status quo. Today, we're diving headfirst into the wild and electrifying world of Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most provocative and misunderstood philosophers ever. Nietzsche wasn't just a thinker. He was a revolutionary who tore apart traditional views on morality, power, and even human nature. So, buckle up, because we're about to explore a philosophy that dares you to live without limits. Friedrich Nietzsche, what a guy. Born in 1844 in Germany, this dude wasn't your average philosopher sitting in an ivory tower. In fact, he was a rebel, a radical who saw the world differently and wasn't afraid to say it. His ideas shook the foundations of Western philosophy, questioning everything from religion to morality. But don't get it twisted. Nietzsche wasn't just out to tear things down. He wanted to rebuild human thought from the ground up. One of Nietzsche's most famous ideas is the death of God. Now, before you think this means he was just an atheist throwing shade at religion, let's break it down. Nietzsche wasn't just saying, "Hey, I don't believe in God." No, it was much deeper. He was pointing out that society had already moved past traditional religious beliefs, but we were still clinging to old values like morality, good, evil, right, wrong, things that were deeply tied to religion. For Nietzsche, the death of God wasn't just about faith, it was about losing a moral foundation. Without God, Nietzsche asked, what's left? How do we define our purpose, our values, and our lives? This idea was both liberating and terrifying. It was as if he was telling us, congrats, you're free. Now what will you do with that freedom? Nietzsche's answer to that question? The will to power. This is the core of his philosophy, and it's where things get really interesting. Nietzsche believed that all of life is driven by this will to power, not power in the sense of controlling others, but a deeper, more personal kind of power. It's about striving to become the greatest version of yourself, to break free from society's expectations, and to embrace your own potential. To Nietzsche, the highest goal in life wasn't happiness or even survival. It was self-overcoming, constantly pushing yourself beyond limits. He challenged us to ask, am I living authentically, or am I living according to someone else's rules? The will to power is about rewriting your own story, being the creator of your own values, and shaping the world around you through your unique vision. Now this brings us to one of Nietzsche's most intense and controversial ideas, master and slave morality. Nietzsche said that throughout history, there have been two types of morality, the morality of the strong and the morality of the weak. The strong, or the masters, create their own values. They define what's good and live by their own standards. Think of people like artists, leaders, and innovators who break away from the pack to create something new. On the flip side, we have slave morality, which Nietzsche said was born out of weakness. It's based on values like humility, obedience, and conformity. The people who follow this morality don't create their own path, they follow the rules set by others. Nietzsche believed this morality was designed to keep people in check, to make them feel guilty for wanting more, for striving for greatness. It's important to note that Nietzsche wasn't saying one is better than the other in a simple sense. But he was challenging us to ask, which morality am I living by? Am I creating my own values, or am I just following what society tells me is right? And this leads us to one of Nietzsche's most famous concepts, the Übermensch, or the overman. Now, this is not some kind of superhero. The Ubermanch is a metaphor for the person who has overcome the limitations of traditional morality, the one who lives life on their own terms. This is someone who isn't afraid to break the of humanity. The person who will rise above the conventional notions of good and evil and create new values that are life-affirming, bold, and creative. Nietzsche didn't believe everyone would, or even could, become an Ubermensch, but he saw it as a challenge for all of us. It's about striving to live a life that is authentic, not one that is pre-packaged by society. Finally, let's touch on Nietzsche's thought experiment known as eternal recurrence. Imagine if you had to live your life over and over again, exactly the same, for all eternity. Every decision, every mistake, repeated forever. Nietzsche believed that if you could say yes to that idea, if you could embrace your life fully without regrets, then you were truly living. It's a mind-bending concept, but the takeaway is this. Nietzsche wanted us to live in such a way that if we had to do it all over again, we wouldn't change a thing. That's the ultimate test of whether we're living authentically. So what can we take away from Nietzsche's philosophy? At its core, it's a call to action. It's a challenge to reject passive living, to break free from inherited values, and to become the creators of our own destiny. Nietzsche isn't just a philosopher for reading, he's a philosopher for doing. If this video got you thinking, then Nietzsche's work has already started to do its job. Let's embrace the chaos, strive for greatness, and live like we mean it. Thanks for watching Eclipse of Ideas. If Nietzsche's ideas blew your mind today, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into philosophy, and leave a comment below. What part of Nietzsche's philosophy resonates with you the most? Let's keep the conversation going.